Yo, what's good? It's your man 100 Grand Ross with The Rock Never Stops. Tonight I want to do a video on probably one of the greatest motivational speeches I ever heard, which gave me so much respect, out of Golden State Warriors Draymond Green. There's a video that just got dropped by Rico Hines in his basketball run. I think it's like the day before the last day of their runs. I know we all still waiting on the Cade Cunningham, Stephen Curry, footage, but I wanted to watch this one. And I got to the end, and my man Draymond Green, hot damn, this dude dropped nuggets that whoever was in that gym and whoever listens to it and takes it to heart is going to become a champion at something. At something. Just to give y'all some context, it's the end of a Rico Hines run day. How they set it up is that from just what I've heard and listened to and followed, they set it up doing player development earlier in the day, right? Whether it's working on their ball handling, shooting, coming off the screens, how do you slip, your footwork, making certain passes, how are you going to pivot on certain plays, what to look for, all the basketball IQ things that guys need to work on top of the skill building stuff. And they do that at a really intense level that really allows you to develop your game so that when you go into training camp, which is coming up for a lot of these guys, so when you go into training camp, you're actually prepared and you can show that you've taken that next step in your game. Now, this run is saturated with NBA players and college players. He runs it out of Los Angeles, so you get some UCLA guys where Rico Hines played. You get a bunch of guys like the Raptors, who Rico just got hired by as an assistant coach. You get some Detroit Pistons, Chicago Bulls. You even got some Orlando Magic guys. I mean, you got NBA guys, best in the world, NBA champions. You had Stephen Curry out there. You had Draymond Green out there. You have champions. And what Draymond Green begins to talk about in this short speech, it's maybe like 2 minutes, because at the end, what Rico likes to do is he likes to give guys an opportunity to say something, right? He wants to give guys an opportunity to share some wisdom, share some thoughts, basically kind of like break down the game a little bit. And Draymond Green does what Draymond Green does. He calls dudes out. Straight up. And some of the guys don't like it. When you watch the end of the video after his speech, you look at the guys' faces whom he called out. And these guys' faces look like they got egg on it. Like they just sitting there and just like sitting with yourself. Like just like grandmama done told you about yourself in front of everybody. You just sit there with your face down and you just got to contemplate your life. Like Draymond Green, let me break it down. The first thing he calls out, he said, yo, some of y'all out here doing things that you'll never do in the game. And he talks about how he appreciated how Rico and Earl Watson and these other coaches out there, the way they set it up is if you're not going to play real basketball, meaning that if what you're doing is not a part of what allows you to win, what is a part of you playing your role to find success in the NBA and whatever that is, then it's not real basketball. You're out here just doing pickup for fun. And that's not what this setting is for. If it's just for fun, you can go someplace else. If it's to have fun while working on your game and competing, this is where you need to be. And Draymond is saying, yo, look, y'all was trash talking me, which is cool. Draymond Green is a trash talker. But he's like, as soon as I started trash talking you, and I don't know who he was talking to. Maybe it was Chuma Okeke, who's in that direction. Maybe it was DJ Wilson. I'm not sure. But he's saying somebody was matched up against. As soon as we started trash talking, you came down and started trying to shoot jump shots. You came down and started trying to do your little handle, shake, and then pull up in my face and hit a jumper. And then now all of a sudden you like, yeah. And he's like, you just called him out. He was like, yo, you ain't going to even make the league like that. He said, you trying to earn a spot in this league. I'm a champion. You're never going to talk me out of what gets me paid $30 million a year. You're never going to talk me out of what my game is, what allows me to be maximally successful, a future Hall of Famer. You're out here thinking that it's something to just hit a jump shot in front of me, as if it's gonna validate you as a player. And he's like, yo, after you hit that jump shot, after we started doing that exchange and trash talking, he said, you didn't hit a single offensive glass after that. You weren't getting stops on defense. All you focused on was trying to get a bucket on me. And he's like, I took you out of your whole game by trash talking you. And he's calling them out. Because the reality is some guys forget that there's a difference between playing basketball for fun and playing basketball to win. You see, the NBA is an entertainment business, but you know what the maximum entertainment is? Winning games. When fans keep going to your games and it's exciting, but you lose, you don't have as many fans in the stands. Your television deals aren't as big. Your next contract is not going to be as big. You're not going to be seen as a winner, which means you may not get more and more opportunities to stay in the league. Right? He's dropping nuggets on them. Don't forget who you are. The next thing he starts talking about is running sprints. He's like, yo, at the end of this run, we started doing these 2-minute sprints. And he's like, out of 40 of us out here, maybe 10 of us took it seriously. And he called out Gabe Brown, who I'm actually really high on coming out of Michigan State. And I understand Draymond Green's going to call him out because he's a fellow Michigan State guy. Right? And he's like, yo, you're trying to make the team. Right? I can't remember if he went undrafted or he's a second round draft pick, but he's trying to make the roster. I think he's on a 2-way contract. And he said, how are you going to make the team and Pascal Siakam and Fred VanVleet are beating you in the 2-minute drills? The veterans, the guys who have been averaging, last season, they were averaging, I think, the most minutes in the NBA. Pascal was leading the NBA. Fred was like top 5 or top 8, right, in minutes played per game. And he's like, how are you going to make this team and you're not even fighting them on these sprints? He's like, y'all are not going to stay in the NBA by just hitting jump shots. Y'all are not going to stay in the NBA by being the most skilled. He drops it to him. He's like, yo, hey, straight up. He said there's about 2 MFers. Like, he gets crazy, really. He's like 2 MFers on every team who could do whatever the hell they want to do. And everybody else has to play a role. You know why Draymond can say that? Because he's not one of those 2. He's not Steph. He's not Clay. He's not somebody, and really on his team is probably just Steph can do whatever the hell he wants to do. Everyone else is playing a role. And he's won. He's earned and demanded contracts, notoriety. He's been at the top of his game because he understands who he is, what his role is. And he's like, some of y'all have got it twisted out here. You're out here trying to hit every jump shot. You're out here trying to be this super skilled player. That's not going to be your role. You're coming in, you're going to be a 3rd string player. The first thing you have to do to make the league is you've got to want it. And that's one of the last nuggets that he drops on him. He said, nobody's going to want it more than me. Nobody. And when he says want it, he's talking about your motor. He's talking about that energy, that internal drive to push yourself, to compete every single second, every single moment. And he's like at the end of a 2-minute drill, at the end of this run, doing a 2-minute sprint drill, right? Only 10 of us are going maximally. And you know what? It was at this moment that I began to feel him on such an extreme level. Because, and I think I said this in my previous video when I was talking about Damian Lillard, but I was talking about how, like, in the day there was a certain culture around competing. And there were some of us who competing was not something that you chose to do, that you decided to do. It was something that you did no matter what the situation was. It didn't matter if it was a rebound, a loose ball. It didn't matter if it was playing defense, getting in a stance, fighting a big dude and you're a small. It doesn't matter if it's trying to get the last shot of the game. It doesn't matter if it's the first shot of the game. It doesn't matter where you are in the game. You are competing. And he's saying, yo, you got a bunch of NBA players out here. You got NBA champions and you let them beat you at the end? You let them outwork you? You let them out hustle you? How are you ever going to make a spot in this league? If when you have a chance to test yourself, if when you have a chance to see where you measure up against the best in the world, you don't even give it 110%. You give it 89%, 72%, 94%. You don't know where you're really at if you're not competing every moment out there. Why would you let them beat you ever? Ever. And at the end of this speech, yo, you could just see all these young guys. I mean, you got young bucks out there, guys who were in the G League last year, at UCLA this year, right? Guys trying to make a roster. And then you got your veterans out there who understand what this is. You got these coaches who understand what this is. And they're like, look, if you're not going to have that dog in you to be the best every single moment you're out here, especially when you're competing against the best, then this is not for you. This is not for you. And this is why I can appreciate these runs. When you look at a lot of these open gyms, man, they bullshitting. If you're really honest about what you're seeing, guys are jogging back on defense, no boxing out. Guys aren't cutting off the ball. There's no spacing. Guys are doing stuff they will never be allowed to do in games. If they did, they're sitting on the bench. They won't even make the team if they're doing that in training camp, right? They're not actually playing to win. They're just playing to feel good in the moment. And there's something to, look, hey, at my age, that's what I'm probably trying to enjoy doing. Going out there, I just want to shoot around. I don't really even play that much anymore. But when I play 99% of the time, sometimes I don't even play because I know I'm going to end up pushing myself and competing. And my body can't physically do it like that anymore. But I compete. And some of these guys, yo, Draymond Green, there's a reason why he's the captain of an NBA championship team. 4-time champion. Hall of Famer. Defensive Player of the Year. NBA all team, first team, second team, all defensive team. There's a reason why he is who he is. You're never going to outwork him. He knows who he is. He competes at every moment. So if y'all get a chance to watch this video, I want you to watch the video. Because there's some guys on your teams who you love, who you like, can't measure up to what Draymond just talked about. When I critique guys like Kevin Porter Jr., that's what I'm talking about. When I critique guys like Russell Westbrook, that's what I'm talking about. You don't play defense? Really? You already know, everybody knows defense wins games. I can go on and on. But Draymond is a real one. He's a real one. And if you get a chance to watch the video, I really suggest you do. Rico Hines basketball. It just got published today, I believe. Check it out. Enjoy it. Let me know what you think. Hit me in the comment section. And I'm out. Peace.